Shalom. Our Torah portion this week is Shalach Lecha, and it begins with the 13th chapter of the book of Numbers. Let's take a look at what it says in the Hebrew. Vaydaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, Shalach lecha anashim, v'yaturu et eretz Kanaan asher ani noten livnei Yisrael, ish echad lemate avotav tishlachu kol nasi vahem. The Eternal One spoke to Moses, saying, "Send notables to scout the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the Israelite people. Send one man from each of their ancestral tribes, each one a chieftain among them." Now, what follows is a rather sad story. The 12 spies go out to the land of Canaan to scout it out. They're there for 40 days. And upon returning, they bring some rather disturbing reports to Moses and the people. They spread evil reports about the land. They say that the land is a place that devours its inhabitants. It speaks of the inhabitants there as being giants, powerful people, and that there's no way that they, the Israelites, can conquer this land, even though God has guaranteed them victory. Among the 12 spies, only Caleb, representing the tribe of Judah, and Joshua, representing the tribe of Ephraim, stand up and say, "No, we can go in and conquer this land. It is within our power. We can do it. Let's go up immediately and do this thing." But the influence of the 10 spies who carry this evil report is greater. And panic breaks out among the Israelite people. And as a result, that whole generation was condemned to live out its life in the desert. Of that generation, only Joshua and Caleb were allowed to enter the promised land. Now, a lot has been said and written about the motivation of the 10 spies who spread the evil report. Mostly it's said of them that they were frightened. These were people who had been born in slavery, people who, at the end of the day, lacked courage and even lacked faith in God. And what could you expect of such people? They were frightened of their own shadows. But there's a comment found in the Zohar that I think is very interesting. The Zohar being the main text of the Kabbalistic tradition. Commenting on this week's Torah portion, the Zohar said that the 10 spies said, here, that is, in the desert, we are the heads of the tribes. We are chieftains. But if we enter the promised land, if we enter the land of Canaan, we will no longer be chieftains among the people. There's a hint here of being self-serving. We see that political inclination that is so common in humanity, of people in power being more concerned about keeping their positions of power, their offices, than they are about the welfare of the people they supposedly represent. We see that sometimes occur here in America. We see it occurring all around the world. A very good example of this sort of self-serving, self-perpetuating political establishment is in the country of Iran. In the next few weeks, there's going to be a presidential election in the country of Iran. Now, to run for president or any other office, you have to be approved by the supreme leader of Iran and his group of advisors. Many candidates have been eliminated from consideration because they are not loyal enough to the supreme leader and his particular ideas. One potential candidate that has been eliminated from consideration is a former president by the name of Rafsanjani. He's been eliminated because he's considered too moderate in terms of his approach to domestic and to foreign affairs. It has been said of him that he is more loyal to Iran than he is to Islam. Can you imagine such a thing? He's too loyal to the people of Iran than he is to the strict ideological interpretation of the Quran that is held by that regime. This is a shame because there are many opinions floating around in Iran these days. Many young Iranians especially are dissatisfied with the direction of their country. And if they were given a voice, they would choose another direction for their country. But they are not allowed to do so because their leaders are more concerned about maintaining their positions of power than they are about their own country. And this is a shame. We Jews, although we have very little good to say about this current regime that has sworn its intention of destroying the state of Israel, making statements denying the Holocaust, etc. In spite of that, we have a lot of sympathy for the Iranian people. There is a long history of good relations between the Jewish people and the Iranian people, going back to the time of King Cyrus, who saved us, who redeemed us from slavery in Babylonia in the year 539 BCE. There is a long history of Jews thriving in Persia and even modern Iran. During the first few decades of Israel's existence, there was a close cooperation between Iran and the state of Israel. Iran supplied Israel with much of its petroleum needs right up to the time that the Ayatollah took power in the late 1970s. And so we Jews wish the best for the Iranian people, and we pray that someday they will have the opportunity to speak their minds, to choose the leaders that they want, that they can get rid of this regime that reminds us so much of those 10 spies in this week's Torah portion who cared more about maintaining their power than they did about the people they supposedly represented. Well, I hope that you will read this week's Torah portion and come to your own conclusions. Shabbat Shalom.
أبا شمعون كن بعوني لا دعيتك عينني أبا شمعون كن بعوني